Oh, terrific. I think this event's not just the event that's important, but I think the tens of thousands of women in our game, whether you're a fan or you're a player, a participant, or whether you're a volunteer, it's great to celebrate it and recognise that. And increasingly you're seeing more senior females who have an influence in the game, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud to be the person that's championing the cause. So terrific, very important.
How frustrating is it to have an event like this, again partially overshadowed by what's happened over the weekend?
Look, I think you've got to keep this in perspective. You can't let the behaviours of one or two people overshadow the wonderful job that so many thousands of people do in this game, and the amazing people that many of the players are. So, look, I think these incidents will happen from time to time, but you mustn't let it overshadow what is a phenomenal event and the phenomenal things that go on in rugby league.
Why haven't you come out and spoken earlier this week?
In regard to what?
Mitchell Pearce.
Oh, look, I think the Mitchell Pearce process has been strong. I'm comfortable with where we've landed. I think the Roosters did a good job, and I just had a chat to Brian Canavan now. I think that's the right result, and I hope that Mitchell learns a lesson.
The Roosters went to pretty extraordinary lengths to try to shield their player from any sort of scrutiny of the media over this issue. I mean, why not announce this boil at the start of the week and not have it all drag out till daylight today?
Oh, look, what I'd say is we've gone pretty quickly with the process. You've heard from me many times over many issues that you need to establish the facts before you start making big decisions, particularly where people's lives are concerned. But I think a $20,000 fine and a 1 week stand down is pretty significant. I think I'm happy with the process. I think it's gone pretty quickly, and I think there's been a lot of cooperation, and the NRL has been part and parcel of that decision.
You said that these things do happen from time to time, and you accept that. Well, why accept that? Why do they have to keep happening?
Because rugby league is a microcosm of society, and that happens in society. So the important point is that to recognise that there's been a consistency with the setup of the integrity unit, and off-field behaviour issues, there are consequences. So if you misbehave off-field, if you misbehave on-field, there are consequences. At the end of the day, the reputation is very important, and these are the minority of things that happen. When they do happen, there are consequences, and I think we've been seen to apply the rules, and we've been seen to consistently recognise that those sorts of behaviours are not acceptable to the game.
Is it correct that you wanted him banned for Origin?
Oh, look, I think I wasn't involved directly in the process, and as they've gone through the consideration. So I think what was important is that the punishment was sufficient to recognise the sorts of behaviours that we want. So I think a 1 week stand down plus a $20,000 fine is the right thing to do. And as I said earlier, I hope that he learns a lesson from it.
So your organisation wasn't pushing for a 2-game ban?
There's been discussions over the last couple of days as to what the appropriate level is. At the end of the day, this is a matter for the Roosters, and the integrity unit is the unit that makes sure that we're consistently applying the rules, and the NRL is comfortable, and I'm entirely comfortable with where we landed.
Talking about consistency, there was an NYC Origin player who got two-game ban for a swear word written on his strapping. I mean, given that this is a more senior player, are we being consistent? Is that a bit out of whack?
Well, I don't think we gave him a $20,000 fine, if I understand that correctly. So, look, I think every situation is going to be different, and I'm not going to talk about specifics. I think what you've got is a strong process whereby we recognise that for on-field behaviour, for off-field behaviour, there's standards. And if you step outside of those standards, there's going to be consequences. And those consequences will be designed to fit what we think has happened and what we think has gone wrong. And you would hope that as I said earlier, from time to time a minority of people are going to make mistakes, but if they make mistakes, then there are going to be consequences, and you hope that people learn from it and we move forward.
So if Mitchell Pearce couldn't have afforded the fine, are you saying he would have gone for 2 weeks?
No, I'm not saying that at all. What I've said is that I'm comfortable with the process that's been followed, and I'm comfortable with where we landed with Mitchell Pearce, and I think the matter's closed, and I know he's hurting, and he's reflecting on what happened, and I hope he learns from it, and I think that's what we should expect.
Will you be comfortable? Consistency, Grayson Goodwin was handed a 26-week suspension for a homophobic tweet. Mitchell Moses received a 2-week ban. Where's the consistency there?
As I said, I think last time you interviewed me at the homophobia piece, anti-homophobia piece, there's no room for vilification in our game whatsoever, and at all, of any minorities. And if those sorts of things happen, you can expect there's going to be consequences. I can't talk about specific cases because I'm not on top of the specific cases. What I can tell you is there's no room for any kind of vilification of any minority in our game. We want to be an inclusive game.
A 24-week gap, though, it seems a gross inconsistency. I understand you won't tolerate those types of comments, and that's justifiable, but there just seems to be a gross inconsistency in regards to the penalties.
As I said, I can't talk about the specifics. I'm not on top of the details of each of the case. But what I would say to you is anything that is vilifications based, you will see a strong response from the NRL, and that's what you're seeing.
Dave, don't you think you should come out and talk to us more?
Todd Greenberg has been talking about things happening with the Bulldogs. Are you concerned?
What specifically are you talking about? The question.
Regarding the rights-handy gambling problems with the Bulldogs and the NRL integrity unit looking into it?
Oh, look, I think there's a number of kind of specifics within that. I think in terms of if you're talking about the Manly discussions, then I think that's a matter between the two clubs, and I don't think there's anything there that the NRL should or would be involved in. I don't know the specifics of what's gone on, but the negotiations around the coach would be, I guess, negotiations happen like that across the game. In terms of the Tandy piece and what was reported on the 7:30 show, look, we take any allegations of betting or match fixing or anything like that very, very seriously. So we're making inquiries. We're making inquiries from middle of last week, and we'll continue to satisfy ourselves that we've got all the facts ahead of us. We've not finished those inquiries yet. Once we have, then I can make a decision.